I am Professor Freya, and it is time for you to get the right idea about Spellcraft. Magic is not something we humans can do. As such, are we forced to borrow it from magical creatures. For that, would you need a magical creature at hand of the type of magic you want to do. Not only is that task impossible to accomplish at all times, but are you also always relying on not only having a magical creature theoretically capable of doing what you want to achieve, but also needed to be able to do that in practice. This is where Spellcraft comes into the picture. There are two types of Spellcraft: the control over magic that the magical creature is going to use, and the control over pre-existing magic. For that do we use spell circles, which bind, direct and regulate magic. In addition, as the second one, the attempt to remove the third element from magic. If we bind it to tools, can we simply carry around those tools over having to walk around with another living being to everywhere we want to be. On the other hand, can all you can do with magic tools always be done bigger, better and more efficient when you are working live together with a magical creature? In those cases, can both sides adapt fluently to what is happening, over having to pre-plan the general case you will be facing. Which one is preferred is always up to the situation, as there are many controlled scenarios where it would be far more complicated to do live spellcraft. There is also another subject, called by the pleb runesmithing. While spellforging is a real subject, is runesmithing no longer one. Runes do not exist, mean nothing, and will only bring forth bad magical tools. What runes are is a script that died out 500 years ago. If you want to learn runes, go find some library far away from anything magic related. Then finally there is also transmutation. It is the most advanced form of spellcraft. Transmutations are the art of combining multiple types of magic into one, to gain an effect that could not be gained by only using one type of magic. This also is the most dangerous form of spellcraft, as the combination of magic can have all kinds of unexpected effects that all need to be precisely controlled, not only to get the effect you want, but also to avoid something going wrong along the way, causing fatal injuries. Later on will there also be a chemical branch of spellcraft, but for that will you need to know more about magical creatures first. For now, all I can teach you is the basic spellcraft, the ability to bind magic to tools and create tools that can hold said magic. This is also the most dangerous branch of magic, what even experienced magicians like Professor Trunniff can assure you. You can't just waltz in here and expect everything to be rainbows and ponies. We are talking about interacting with living beings that are capable of altering nature itself. There are always dangers, but those only come if you are not acting properly in the situation. Yes, some will go into fields, especially research, that are far more dangerous, but they go in there knowing that, and despite that are casualties at a low. As long as you follow my instructions, even if things go wrong, will you never be in harm's way, up until the last year, and then I expect you to be ready to deal with such situations. I am also forced to mention that spellcraft is not only about the creation of magical tools. Materials need to be gathered, prepared and joined together to create the tool you want to imbue. You can find pre-made parts, but the core identity of spellcraft is to understand the thing you use and what gets you to your goal. So self-prepared magical tools will always lead to the most precise results. The worst case scenario then would be when your spell circle describes something in a completely unfitting form. Most of the time the failure point would then be when you try to add the magic. But then there are also tools like this that have successfully bound magic, but once it is activated will this happen. This tool had a trivial amount of magic bound to it, and under normal circumstances would hardly be able to achieve anything, but thanks to it being made faulty did all the bound magic release at once, creating a powerful force. This concept is the exact same that is behind humanity's strongest weapons. An atomic bomb would use this concept to make a rock explode with a force to annihilate a city. But this is still the good outcome. but in the process of binding magic, we will be able to pump in far more magic than will stay inside once it stabilizes. That means if you value your life and want to keep all your body parts where they are and how they are, will my words be absolute until proven that you have the understanding to act on your own ideas.